Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with a Spaghettio review. And today we're checking out Campbell's Spaghettios Original, but this time it's been made with Frank's Red Hot Hot Sauce. Now, of course, I'm a good fan of some spicy flavor, but I've definitely never had Spaghettios with any kind of spice to it. Granted, I don't think Frank's is all that high in spice, more so maybe packed with flavor and a little bit of spice. But I'm still interested in trying this out. This is your standard Campbell's can. It's not a condensed product, so I can just open it up and start going to town. But there's a lot going on this can's label that I guess we'll take a look at here first. 290 calories for the can. Probably way too much sodium to really consider this like a good idea to eat. Almost half of your sodium just from this 290 calories worth. It says healthy kids entree. I'm really not convinced of that, just based on what I had said. It's got a little bit of vitamins in it, but this salt I really think just trumps everything. So I know what I'm getting myself into with this. It's probably not a great idea to eat all the time. Same kind of with like ramen noodles. But anyway, we'll take a look here, and the ingredients are nothing too crazy at the beginning, but at the end it's all sorts of stuff. Water, tomato puree, enriched pasta, and by the fourth ingredient you're already into things I really can't pronounce. Maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing. Doesn't look like too many chemicals or anything on there. Another interesting thing is that this has apparently been made with bioengineered food. I never really paid attention to that before. I don't think that that's a problem, but it's just weird that I guess they have to say it on the label, but our canola, corn, and soy have been bioengineered. And it just says, as far as instructions, I usually would microwave this if I was going to eat it on my own, or to be honest, I'd probably just eat it right out of the can. But for today, we're going to use kind of like a little hot plate, so we'll heat it up and stir it occasionally. I don't think there's much left to talk about on the can, so let's just open it up and see what we're working with. Okay, here we have the lid open. It's definitely quite liquidy. Sometimes Spaghettios could be a little less liquidy depending on the types, but this one has some good amount of liquid to it. I'm going to set up my hot plate and pour this in, and we'll heat it up before we try it out. Cut myself on the metal can. That's the first compromised culinary injury that I can recall. Ain't that something? Alright, I'm all bandaged up and we got our Spaghettios in our pot, so I'm going to heat this up and I'll be back when it's ready. I didn't even mean to do that. It's looking pretty hot to me, folks. Let's get it into a bowl. Alright folks, here we have our nicely prepared lunch, and I think it's just ready for a taste test. I'm going to start things out by just tasting a little bit of the tomato sauce, and we'll see if the Frank's really shines through or not. Here we go. It's actually a little bit spicy. I got spice more than I got anything else, I think. The flavor itself is not too strong. Let me try a little more if I can. Got a noodle in there. Very interesting. The spice kind of comes and hits your mouth, and it makes it all tingle a little bit. But it's not too punishing, it's not too hot. I really didn't think it would be too hot for a Campbell's product, but I think it's time now we're just going to go for it and take a whole spoonful. It definitely tastes like Spaghettios. I think that actually it's a little too liquidy for me. I wouldn't mind it if it was a little more thick, because once you kind of get it into your mouth, there's nothing really keeping the pasta and the sauce together. It kind of just separates, but I guess that's always how Spaghettios have been. To be honest, I don't think it really tastes that good. I kind of get a little bit of the heat from the Franks. I don't really get too much of the flavor from the Franks. And what you're kind of left with is somewhat of a spicy, uninspired tomato pasty sauce. Like there's really not a lot of flavor going on. More liquidy than I would like. Yeah, sadly, I'd say there's nothing special about this. Spicy, just a little. Pretty flavorless otherwise. I mean, it tastes okay to eat, like it's not repulsive or anything, but I think there's other kinds of Spaghettios that I can think of that I would probably prefer over this. But it's my lunch, so I'm gonna try and finish it up. All right, as I was finishing up the bowl, I was actually kind of thinking, like, who is this marketed for exactly? When I think of Spaghettios, I kind of think of it as something a little kid would enjoy, but a little kid's probably not going to enjoy the spice aspect of it. And if you're a spice fan, it's not really too spicy to make you want to run out and get it for the spice factor. And if you like flavor with your spice, it doesn't really have that either. It just kind of tastes like spicy Spaghettios. I didn't originally think I'd be so negative starting out this review because this was an interesting thing I've never seen before that I wanted to try. But, I mean, I'd be hard-pressed really to recommend it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It tasted, I guess, as it was intended to taste. But I just think for all that sodium that you're getting, it's probably better choices for Spaghettio. There's better choices for spice that you could make. So, I don't know. If you want to try it, it's worth a try just to see for yourself. But definitely not going to be buying a pallet of these, especially if there's other choices you can have instead. So, all right, Campbell's, good try on the Frank's Red Hot. Spaghettios, it certainly was. I don't know. At least I'm glad to try it. It was an okay lunch. Sort of. Guess that's all we got for today's video, folks. Thanks for joining me for today's Spaghettio review, and we'll catch you on the next one. We humbly appreciate the very important support from our Patreon subscribers.